Let's see. And we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, California, Canoga Park, whatever. 2LaneLIVE headquarters. We're live.
What do they need to do?
Hey, man, don't forget, these videos stay up here forever. So if you missed the live, go back and watch it or tell your friends to watch it. But subscribe to our YouTube channel and you always know about that.
Yep. Make a comment, hit the bell, give us a thumbs up. That all helps with the algorithm.
What a great week, man.
Yeah.
We had a funny drop if you want to watch it. It was yesterday, and it was a nuts to butts, get on a trike, go for a ride with Aaron Baker.
Yeah, Teresa's a better passenger than you. I have to tell you.
Well, we had what's going on there? We had a couple comments. One, riders are the worst passengers.
Yes.
And two, they said it was something about, isn't that a federal law that nuts aren't allowed to be against butts on a bike? Something like that. I don't know.
Well, last time we had him flipped around, so
Yeah,
it seemed to be okay. But yeah, we've got a great guest in store for you guys today. Jason at Deadwood Cycles. We'll jump him in a minute. But this trip that we went on, Teresa and I got home and we started talking about all the trials and tribulations that the Baker family and Aaron and his mom and his sister, have all gone through. And it really became more, to me, so moving that it wasn't a trip. It was a spiritual journey as we kind of deemed it.
Well, basically, it's the first time that we've been on a trip where we had someone like Aaron on it or any guest on the trip. And we actually learned how to be hanging out with someone different with us on this whole vibe.
Yeah. And just to see the man smiling, even when the wind was crushing him.
Right.
Just to watch him smile. And he said some really cool things that you'll see in the drops that are coming up. And it was heart moving for him and overwhelming for him at times where he was able to finally ride his Harley, which he never thought he'd do. And it was the longest trip he'd been on. So,
and he can handle that. I started calling that thing the black boar, and he rode it around like
he was ripping that thing.
But that's coming Wednesday. Great series starting. We're probably going to have 4 or 5, maybe 6.
Who knows?
Episodes from that. So it's going to be great. And then we're going to leave at the end of the month. We're heading to Sturgis. We got something special there. And that's part of why we've
kind of talked about it. So what are we doing?
Well, we're going to show you what it's like to be in Sturgis and Deadwood when there's no motorcycle rally going on.
Should be really cool.
So that'll be
leading up to our trip.
Yeah.
We'll drop these just before we leave. And so probably start in the middle of July.
For sure.
So you can start telling the story of Deadwood and Sturgis.
Get familiar with the area, all that stuff.
Yeah, we got a couple new patches from New Zealand.
And one of them.
Australia.
And he's on right now, Flavio.
He's
watching.
Thank you very much. Those are really cool. I think it's his son is an MP, works for the police in the Australian Army.
So we got his patches. Thank you for that. We got Sean. He sent us. He actually sent a box, a shadow box, a light box, shadow box.
It's a
shadow box.
It's got Chris Kyle,
the American Sniper.
His wife actually sent us a coin. Apparently, she watches the show a little bit, so she sent us a coin. He also he was the one that picked up Marcus Luttrell and put him in the helicopter. So that was the Lone Survivor movie that was out there. Yeah.
So we have his patches here.
Yeah. Really solid guy.
All you guys out there, military, law enforcement, fire, all that kind of stuff, bowling, 200 games, send your patches in. We'll take them.
Heck yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know why we're not loading him on the television, but we'll figure that out.
It's not loading.
Let's jump Jason in when we get a second.
Before we jump Jason in, I just want you guys to know that Jason, who's going to be on right now, is awesome. He owns Deadwood Cycles in Deadwood. We've been there many times. He's given us some great tours. This guy rocks, and we're going to see him in a couple of weeks. So,
and I guess we'll see him right now.
Yeah, let's jump him in.
Let's split this up. Jason, what's happening?
Hey guys, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Hey, we appreciate you jumping in here. I don't know if you can see my hat or not.
Oh, I see it. Oh, yeah.
Do you know that guy?
I talked to that guy today, actually, for about
10 you did? Minutes. So did I.
Yeah,
really?
We talk pretty regular. And, it's funny because the fueling flat brim hat is like the #1 fashion accessory up here in the Black Hills.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, everybody
Well,
loves him.
it's pretty funny. We're lucky and blessed to know him as well, and he actually is the one that introduced us to you a few years ago when we were out in Sturgis. I think we've seen you 7 years in a row now.
Right on.
Well, we had a lot of comments on and views on that video that we did, and we titled it "The Sturgis You Haven't Seen."
Right.
And you did such an incredible job narrating, what you've got around the store there down below the shop. So tell us just a little bit about that. Did someone come in and mention you the other day?
Somebody mentioned me.
Yeah, I thought you were saying earlier that someone said that they saw you on.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, I spaced it. No, a guy came in the shop randomly. He was just in Deadwood visiting, and he, has a motorcycle, likes motorcycles, and so he had to come check out the custom shop. And when he did, we were just chit chatting back and forth. I'd never met the guy before, and he said, "Hey, wait a minute, I know you." He said, "I recognize your voice from a video I watched from 2LaneLIVE." So you guys, your videos gotten some views, man. It's definitely out there.
And I don't know. I mean, you own the shop and you work on motorcycles, you ride motorcycles, but you're one hell of a tour guide.
That's the thing about Deadwood. If you live here long enough, you can't help but kind of get absorbed or immersed into the history. And everybody here is very proud of their history and proud of the history of the town. And, they work very, very hard in Deadwood to preserve that, to hang on to it. They have a whole entire historic preservation committee or society or whatever. And actually when people gamble in Deadwood, a portion of that goes towards preserving Deadwood's history, so it just doesn't go into the pockets of the casino owners, So whenever we go and, put a 20 in a slot machine and walk away 5 minutes later, we say, we just contributed to historic preservation a little bit.
That's awesome, because that's why we ride the 2 lanes and we shake hands with America and we get out there, and Deadwood is definitely part of that history of small town. And, you go back in time when you go to Deadwood, and I know when people go to Sturgis, they have to go to Deadwood.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a requirement. The first time I came here, before I lived here, and I lived in Charleston, I came here for the rally, and I fell in love with Deadwood so much I got the dead man's hand tattooed on my arm right after.
Wow. There you go.
So talk a little bit about the shop, where you're located and what you do, and maybe a little bit about rally and how busy you guys get.
Well, it's a team effort around here. There's 5 of us that work here full time, and then we have a 6th guy that comes in a couple days a week to help out, usually Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And we're 1 block off of Main Street. You really can't miss us, whether you're coming in from the north or the south. When you come in town, you kind of can't help but kind of run into Deadwood Custom Cycles. We take up a whole city block, if you will. It's not a full city block, but what's kind of neat about it is the building is called the Gallows, and it's called the Gallows because this piece of land that we're sitting on right here is where they used to do the public hangings in Deadwood back in the 1870 whatever, So actually, right here, when back then there was no movies to go to, nobody went to see IMAX. The big event was to go watch the hangings. So they would come to this little plot of land that my shop's on right now. And they had a little gazebo in the corner. It's actually up it would have been where our bathrooms by the showroom are now. And Deadwood actually recreated that gazebo up at Outlaw Square, but it's a spitting image of the same gazebo that was on this land. And that's where the rich folk would go, and that's where they'd watch the hangings from. Regular people like you and me, we had to stand in the dirt, I guess, and watch the show. Yeah. So,
is there any way we can have a hanging when we're there in a few weeks?
I'll talk to the mayor.
Talk to the mayor. Well, I remember you telling that story. That's a cool story. You also have a nice little area where the riders can wait and maybe have a cold beer too, huh?
We do. We're a full service shop. I mean, I have a dyno and I actually use it. I've already dynoed one. I got 2 more bikes to dyno today before we close up. And I've got an incredibly talented team of guys here, whether it be my parts manager or the other technicians other than me and my fabricator. And we're just very fortunate, to live in a town of 1,200 people in South Dakota, where it snows, 6-7 months a year, and to be this busy. We have work year round. We do a lot of motor stuff. I've got 3 fueling cam chest kits for M8s lined up to try to get done by early next week. And we do a lot of the Bagger Nation SRT conversions. We're still doing frame up custom builds too. We do a lot of makeovers of, even the soft tails and stuff, but we'll never be too proud to change tires or change oil. And that's really a big bread and butter for the locals around here is, this is the time of year where they get their bikes out of storage, and we do a preseason kind of service on them and, go over them and make sure they're solid and change the fluids and get them ready to ride.
Well, I've seen you guys in action when it's been really busy, and it's super impressive to see how meticulous and clean the shop is. And I've seen guys come in there with issues, and you've dropped everything and gone over and checked their bikes. And it's a really great crew you have. Everyone's super kind, and I think the riders really enjoy that. And it's a great experience just being at the shop,
Yeah, so it's definitely that's a stop that if you're riding through Deadwood and you're hanging out the history, Deadwood Cycles is part of that history, and you got to go there because you might get to meet Jason. And when Sturgis is happening, are you getting people coming in saying, "Hey, I broke this," or "I have to change my oil," and all that kinds of stuff?
Yeah, we get a lot. We actually we get people that actually call us. We've started to get calls and emails for people that want to schedule their oil changes and stuff for when they get here for rally.
Gotcha.
And so that becomes a kind of repetitive thing that they know they're going to ride 2,000 miles. They want to get their oil changed, so we schedule them this far in advance. We have been the host of Paul Yaffe and Bagger Nation. He's been set up at my shop every year. I just talked to Lisa Baker, and so Baker Drivetrain is going to be set up at our shop this year.
Nice.
Great.
And Christine LaPera. They usually have a tent out there, and we're kind of their headquarters for test rides. For people to come in, they'll throw a LaPera seat on them, let them take it for a loop, and come back, and then we help them with all that stuff. But we see a lot of honestly, we see a lot of and if I can do anything to change this, I'm going to say it. We see a lot of people that literally tighten that last bolt on that bike and throw that thing up in the trailer, and they take off, and they unload it here, and they think they're going to ride for a week in the hills, and stuff breaks down. They get handlebars put on, the guy whips it around the block, and then they throw it up in the trailer. They come out here and their ignition switch pops off.
Oh, right.
So that would be my recommendation to people is, and don't worry, we're here. We're here. But my recommendation to people is get a little bit of miles. You're saving your money. You're saving all year to come out here. And to be honest with you, we love the tourists. We love having people here. We don't really ride, during that time. We kind of save it for everybody, to enjoy it while they're out here during the rally. And we're here working 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Every day, trying to keep everybody on the road and let them enjoy their rally experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I can attest to that because we've had last year, I think you set us up for dinner. We got reservations, and then we came back and it was like 10 or 11 o'clock, and you guys were still
working away,
wrenching on bikes. I couldn't believe it.
You guys got reservations where you don't get reservations,
right?
And you can actually can thank my wife for that because it's her and her family that they bent the rules a little bit because I called and said, "Hey, it's Luke and the boys, and they want a good meal." And I guess they didn't disappoint. You guys said it was good. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your wife's name?
Great meal.
My wife's name's Charlie. And,
Charlie. Thank you very much, and thank you.
Yeah, and we're actually going to be talking to Louie when we go back at the end of the month here.
Yeah, Louie's my bestie. She didn't like me at first, to be honest with you. She just saw a dirty tattooed biker, and I was not very popular, but I won her over, and she's Charlie's aunt, so she's my aunt-in-law. She lives right across the street from us, up in the neighborhood, and actually right now I'm tasked with watering her plants and turning the lights on and off in the plants. I go there every morning and every night, but Louie is she's salt of the earth, and I'll tell you, you will not find anybody that has got a bigger heart or donates and gives to charity and does so many things for the community here. I mean, she's kind of a monarch, if you will, of Deadwood, and very well respected, and runs a great business, and has over 100 and some employees, and has employees that have literally been here or been working at Saloon Number 10 for 25, 27, 30 years, because
wow,
she
that's
takes care of
amazing.
them. Yeah.
Is Lou? She's going to be touring with us, right? Or
we're just going to go interview her. I think we're getting to her place. I think the saloon at like 3 o'clock or something.
Gotcha.
4 o'clock.
Well, I look forward to that for sure.
Yeah, she was on the phone with us the other day, and she's quite a character. I can't wait to draw that philanthropic stuff out of her too. So that's pretty important, that with keeping people employed, and then also generously donating is pretty important.
I mean, that's awesome. Like I say, it's one of our favorite stops when we are in Sturgis.
Yeah.
So
you got to stop by Saloon Number 10. You just have to. I mean, people will make jokes because they have Wild Bill's death chair hanging above the wall. Okay.
Right.
And they'll say, well, this is one of 6 of the Wild Bill death chairs that you'll find at Deadwood. However, I'm going to give you a little inside scoop. Okay. Charlie's grandfather, who's no longer with us, who bought the old style Saloon Number 10 way back. He purchased that chair from the niece of Calamity Jane. Okay, and everybody knows how Calamity Jane was kind of infatuated with Wild Bill, and the story goes unofficially that when that whole thing happened at the Saloon Number 10, that Jane took the chair. She drug it out of the back of the Number 10, and that's the same chair that my wife's grandfather purchased from like an estate sale, yard sale type of thing that could trace the lineage back to Calamity Jane. So you can think what you want, but as far as I'm concerned, that's Wild Bill's death chair.
So Josh, we got to make sure we get a big, nice picture of that one.
I think so. I think so.
And where is that? That's still in
Saloon Number 10.
Still in there.
It's above the door when you first walk in. If you walk in the side, you see, you probably saw I got one of my bikes sitting there in the window. They have had it up there forever. They just like it as decor. If you come in the other side where the sawdust and stuff is on the floor, that's where it's at.
Gotcha. Well, I can't wait to see that.
So what's been your favorite build custom wise? I mean, I saw you did something for I think it was the sheriffs or the police out there. I saw that funky bike on your Instagram. That was pretty cool. But what's been your favorite build?
Well, the police bike there, that was a thing. And I'm not trying to get political. So I'm going to stay away from that. But I was disappointed at some of the views that Americans were having about law enforcement. And so I'd come across this bike that was a wreck bike, salvage bike. It was a 07 Police Ultra. And I didn't know what I was going to do with it. It had the old style frame, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And I'm like, I'm going to put 20 grand in this bike, and I'm going to sell it for 10, And,
right.
And so I said, well, I don't know why Deadwood doesn't have a bike, because they've got a shop like mine, and they do so many parades and special events and things like that. So I called upon all my friends in the motorcycle industry, like Luke Leatherman, Paul Yaffe, Jeff Solinsky, the Rodney from Revolution Performance. I mean, the list goes on, and everybody got on board. Drag Specialties, donated parts, and we set out to build a extremely custom bike that looked like a stock bike from 100 feet away. You know, it's got Jesse's Axo on the front and Revo's on the back, and it's got a badass motor and Bassani exhaust, and like I said, it looks just like a nicely customized stock bike. But when you get up close and they hit that emergency equipment, which we hit all the emergency equipment to make it, you know, so it's definitely something different. And you know, that was my way of showing those guys how much I appreciate what they do. Long ago, you know, I used to be a police officer, and I always say I wasn't a very good police officer, but you know, I wanted them to have something, you know, that they could, you know, to help them improve them doing their job. And around here, you know, we respect and honor and love our police officers and firefighters and EMTs. So the neatest thing with that was, you know, Big Kenny from Big and Rich shot a TV show, one of his episodes of Crank It Up Garage, and Karen Davidson was here, great granddaughter of William A. Davidson, and she turned to me and gave me a hug, and she said, "That's a badass bike," and that's a pretty big compliment, you know, coming from somebody with Davidson in their last name, you know. And
I don't know if you see it, but it's been put on the screen right there.
Yeah, yep, there it is. That's it. Recently, I don't know if you guys had heard about it, but about a year ago, when we did give that bike away, my buddy Paul Yaffe and his wife Susie and Ari from Law Tigers, they were up here for the event, and I was putting together an FXR for myself that I, you know, kind of was keeping under wraps, and I thought it was going together pretty cool. I was really liking it, and Paul's always got at least one or two FXR projects going on. So I challenged him in a loving, friendly, brotherly way to a little build off, you know. And I said, hey, we should just do this build off, you know, for Instagram content, and just for the fun of it. And you know, nobody challenges Paul Yaffe, right? So not in their right mind anyway. So Paul kind of looked at me and he's like, all right, yeah, let's do it. Well, when I put it out there on Instagram, then Brian Clock jumped in, and Curtis Hoffman and Jeff Zielinski and Nick Trask got on board, and then I ended up doing another one for Law Tigers. So we had 7 FXRs, all completely different.
Wow.
Then we had a couple guys crashing the party, and we rode from Winslow, Arizona, into Phoenix for Arizona Bike Week. All of us, it was a blast, you know, riding with my buddies on these badass FXRs, you know, doing 110, you know, miles an hour, just ripping through. Oh, it was a blast. So I missed that bike, believe it or not, because you know, Arizona was, you know, a month ago, and my bike sold it already. A guy bought it. He actually texted me today because he absolutely loves it. So I picked up a 1993 anniversary bike, and so I'm going to go at it all over again. But I'm a big FXR. You know, I'm a big FXR.
Well, that's awesome. You just brought up a good point. Do you get out and ride much?
You know, I do. I do. My wife and I, you know, that's kind of our thing to do on Sundays and on Mondays, and sometimes we'll make overnight trips. Lately, I've been working in the shop 6 days a week, usually about 12, 14-hour days. But we've had kind of crappy weather, so. But we're actually able to ride. Believe it or not, we're able to ride at least one day a month here. You know,
good.
It can be February, and we'll get a 60-degree day, and the roads will be clear. So you know, we'll jump on the bike and go ride. But we try to squeeze in all our riding, basically, you know, from April until November.
And does she ride, or is she a passenger?
Well, it's funny. I love having her as my passenger, and you know, we pretty much always, you know, ride together. But she mentioned to me after riding on the FXR in Arizona, she said that she wanted to get her own bike. So she's probably not listening to this podcast, but I've got my buddy Flash just picked up a 1993 FXR that I'm going to do up for her.
Nice.
Awesome.
So she's going to take the class up at Black Hills Harley with some friends, and then we're going to get her on 2 wheels on her own. Yeah.
I think if my wife was riding or wanted to ride, I don't know if I'd like it. I'm glad she doesn't want, she loves being a passenger, but I'd be worried all the time. I'd be looking
Well,
and looking.
they call themselves riders.
Yes.
So they do ride, but they
Right.
just ride as a passenger.
Yeah.
We love those old school FXRs as well. I mean, Lance has got one.
Yeah.
He used to have a guy that worked over there, Rob, that had quite a few and just had some really nice anniversary editions, beautiful bikes, fun bikes. But we told them they can't ride those to Sturgis with us because they only get 100 miles to the tank.
Right. Right. Yeah. Those same group of guys and some other guys have jumped on board now, and we're doing the hashtag the Chopper Friends Throwdown. So now we're all building rigid choppers. There's really not a lot of parameters, but it's going to be fun to see what everybody comes up with, between now and Arizona next year. Yeah.
Maybe you can get those in the Bagger Racing League and do some old school chopper runs.
Hey, you never know.
Right?
Yeah, I'm up for it. I mean, all my bikes like that are all kickstart only and jockey shift, and I believe things should be a certain way if you're building a chopper. If it's got a big gigantic 124-inch Evo motor and billet everywhere, well, that's cool in its own right. But for me, I like shovels, I like pans, stuff like that.
Are you familiar with the Cannonball Run?
I am actually. We've been to Sturgis when they've come through actually, and stopped and visited with them. Yeah, when they made their stop here.
We had Jason Sims, who's running that on our live a couple of weeks ago. We also had Grant Peterson, who does Boring Free out here. With Jason, we're trying to set up a deal where he's got, I think, 3 1941 Army bikes that Harleys that we'll set up, and we'll get in on the 80th anniversary. We'll get current bikes, and he'll ride those 3, and we'll have 3 current bikes and do a trip and get down into Normandy.
80th anniversary of D-Day.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's
so
cool.
we mentioned that to a couple of our buddies at Harley, and they were like, "Oh yeah, what do you need?" And we might have to go supervise.
That's going to be awesome.
So when are you starting on the chopper then?
Well, I've actually already started on mine, and funny enough, I had a plan, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I started doing this one, and I was doing it as a solo seat. And then I realized that was not going to fly with my wife, Charlie. So instead of messing up the lines of that one, I'm just going to build another one with a king and queen seat on it. And that way, her and I can roll together. And she's all excited because she wants to wear bell bottoms and a halter top and
nice.
Go 70s style. And we're going to do a typical 70s style chopper, with some of the goofy trends from, back in the day. But
the Mod Squad.
That's right.
I think that's right on. I mean, we did a shoot last year with Josh Kerpius, and he reminds me of that 70s. He's got the hair.
He's still doing it.
Yeah. He just looks the part, and he's like just so mellow and laid back. And
do you know who Josh is?
I do. I'm familiar with him. I don't know if I've ever met him in person, but I do know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Choppers are kind of odd out here. I mean, we still have. There's quite a few of them. There's the thing about out here is I'll bet you 60% of the population owns a Harley. Of some way, shape, or form. So
right.
There's a lot of riders. But the touring bikes are always going to be a big thing out here. Most of the guys that have a little bobber or chopper have a touring bike because, for us to, it's nothing to go to Devil's Tower on a Sunday and ride all day or ride down to, Fort Collins or, just take the day and be on a bike. So I'm a big Road Glide fan. I usually have a Road Glide. I was building a new one for myself with the Yaffe SRT Steamroller Touring kit. We're doing 6 of those bikes actually right now, where we convert them. We convert the front ends, and I got mine up on the rack frame only and started, putting it together. Put the motor back together, stuffed it in there, and it was on the rack for about 2 days. And a guy came in and bought it, So I'm now frantically looking for a new road glide because I got that look from Charlie. Are we going to be without a road glide all summer?
No, you can't.
Well, it sounds like, Jason, maybe you are keeping the shop employed with all the bikes you're building.
Oh, I don't do it alone. I can tell you that. I would tell you. And when I say I'm building it, it's usually I got one of the other guys, especially because Charlie bartends on Friday and Saturday night, so I like to work late, and I always guilt one or two of those guys to stay and help me, and offer to buy them dinner and to jump in on one of those builds.
You sound like you're in Arizona a lot. Next time you're in Arizona, you got to let us know so we can. We're 6 hours away from a lot of Arizona, and we spend a lot of time in Arizona.
Well, I hate to say this, but believe it or not, this trip down to Arizona Bike Week last month was my first time ever. And
oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I'd been to Yuma Proving Grounds, and I had been through Arizona, but I never really went there as a kind of a destination.
We've gone in so many of every corner of Arizona, and we still haven't seen it all. And we have fun there.
We've seen most of it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful riding. We had to stop and get a picture next to a cactus. That was a requirement. I guess a little safer than people up here trying to stop and get a picture next to a buffalo.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah. Crazy.
We actually stumbled onto. I'll go back just a little bit about your police story. You can't see it, but we have multiple patches on the wall from police officers, from firefighters, from U.S. servicemen and women, from other countries, from just all shapes and form. And we love and support those first responders. We have an affinity towards that. We've done a lot of charity stuff as well to help support, whether it's Band of Brothers or some of the veteran clubs that are doing support and fundraisers. So near and dear to our hearts. So I thought it was cool. I just wanted to bring that back up. And we also we were in Arizona last year, and we ran across the USS Arizona Memorial.
Yeah.
And, you think of that's actually in Hawaii, in Maui, in the Big Island, or no, Oahu. And to find this thing out in the middle of the desert in Scottsdale, we were able to see it during the day and then went back and looked at it at night. It was just incredible and brought chills, to you just to see all the names that were on the board and how many people perished. And they did a really good job. So yeah, we've been all over Arizona.
It's a life-size replica of the ship, but made with lit poles. And so It lights up at night and you walk around. It's amazing. And I guess the Pima Indians had one of the original flags off the USS Arizona.
They were granted a flag, and that's what kind of started this whole thing and project. But because of what happened in 2020, that's when it opened. So really hadn't had a lot of traffic to it.
Right. So you were in law enforcement. You were in the military as well.
I was in the Marine Corps for 10 years. Yep.
If you have a spare patch of any one of those, we would love to put a Jason patch up on our wall.
Well, I was just going to ask you if you had any Virginia Beach SWAT team patches up there, or how about a Deadwood PD patch? You got one of those?
We have Sturgis.
We got a Sturgis one. We don't have a Deadwood. We asked one of the officers last year, and he's like, I don't have any. So we were going to go to the station, but we just got too busy.
No, we're going to take care of that. We'll have
cool.
We'll have some stuff standing by for when you guys come on down. At the end of the month. We're throwing a party. We're throwing a party for you guys, just so you know.
Oh, that'll be great. We love parties. We're bringing our wives too.
Well, that's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, it just so happens on Memorial Day weekend every year on Sunday we throw our open house. It's a corny name, but we call it the Deadwood Spring Motorcycle Fling, and it's our way of kicking off the riding season. And people give me grief about that, but I don't care. But we have a big open house, show everybody what's going on in the shop, and we open bar and food and live music, and we just invite everybody to come out and celebrate motorcycles.
That sounds like perfect timing.
But I don't think I think
we might
that
be gone.
Memorial Sunday, we're probably gone already.
Yeah.
We're going to end up there the 22nd and then depart the 26th.
So we're having a party for you guys leaving.
Something like that.
I have to tell you, I mean, you hooked us up with some people, and there's a lady by the name of Rose Spears. I don't know if you know her.
Talked to her yesterday.
I think you gave us her information, and she has just been wonderful trying to get people for us, and she's really responsive. She cares about this. And when I talk to the people that she's discussed this with, I mean, I didn't think she would talk. Maybe she didn't know us that well, but she actually started watching some of our stuff.
Yeah.
And then was commenting to some of the shop owners. We're going to the artists. She's just got so many people. It was really cool. So thanks for that hookup.
Well, it seems like the people that we've talked to in Deadwood are kind of excited that we're going to showcase the town, and we're happy about that.
I mean, we're staying at I think it's the Holiday Inn Mill, the old mill that they've redone as a hotel.
The old slime plant. The old slime plant. Yeah. From
the slime plant. Time. Perfect.
And they're taking care of us. And that was all through Rose. I mean, it was just amazing.
Well, that's the thing about, Deadwood, and there's something to be said for that, that Midwest hospitality. It does exist. It is real, and when I moved here, I didn't quite know what to think, but the whole business community kind of took me in, and we always look out for one another, and people want recommendations on where to eat and where to stay and what to do. And it's funny because, we'll have, these motorcycles show up on a Wednesday, and, guys got a problem, needs fixed. And I always ask them, well, how'd you find us? How'd you hear about us? And they said, oh, well, the front desk lady at the hotel told us, that you were the place to go. And I said, I have no idea who that person is, but, thank you, So it's a very, very tight knit and small community, but we love our tourists. 8,200 people a day in the summertime come through Deadwood.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we love it. That's part of it's part of the culture. It's part of the way of life here. We don't really complain because our biggest traffic jam is a herd of longhorn sheep, that are out, in the middle of the 2-lane. So not a big deal. Yeah.
So speaking of that, of the 8,200, so that's quite a few, right? So rally is what, maybe a 2/3 of your business, or is it half, do you think?
No, I don't think it's even 2/3 or a half. I mean, Don't get me wrong. We do a lot of business that week, and we're pretty well stocked. And then, we make about a $30,000 my cost parts order, tires and stuff for the rally. We usually don't send a lot of it back, but it's a big push. It's a big purge, but at the same time, quite honestly, we're busy all year round. I mean, my managers was looking right, and now we have 49 motorcycles in the shop. He was just getting a handle on it. Yeah, we're trying to get about 6 of them out of here, but I mean, we 49 bikes in the shop. We're so close on quite a few of them where we're just finishing up long-term winter projects. But it's a year. I get that question a lot. People say, when they come in, they say, "Are you seasonal?" And I'm like, God, I wish, I wish, but no, we are, we're open, year round, 5 days a week. And then during the rally, we're open the entire rally. Our rally starts a little early, usually about a week and a half, 2 weeks early. We start seeing the influx, and we just go until it's done. It just put your head down, and I believe that it's my contribution to the tourism of the Black Hills, because that's the worst thing in the world, right? You come out here, you want to ride the hills, and your bike breaks, and I still think that, there's a lot of people out there that don't want to just go to a tent that was set up for the rally. They want a brick and mortar store. They want guys that, we have a combined, almost 100 years of experience, of wrenching in this
Right.
shop. My fabricator has got 2 master's degrees and a doctorate in welding and metallurgy. I mean,
Right.
he's grossly overqualified to be a fabricator in a motorcycle shop, but he just loves being in Deadwood. He's actually my father-in-law. Okay,
Right.
so he's married to Charlie's mom.
Oh,
There you go.
geez.
Well, if you look at it this way, if you're in Sturgis or Deadwood and you make the journey and something does happen to your bike, it's kind of a cool thing to go back and say, my bike broke down and I went to Deadwood Cycles. It's there and they fixed it. That's cool.
It is cool. And it's cool that's why we're doing this kind of Sturgis before Sturgis. And
Right.
to learn more about, because, the stuff you read, it's like 75% of the economy is done in that 2 weeks or something like, and I don't know that to be true. And that's what we want to find out with some of the people there in Deadwood. Because we were talking to Rose and she's like, well, there's more than just the rally. We've got all sorts of things going on all year long.
Is Rose the one that said she wants us to see the brothel?
No, that was Carolyn, I think.
Carolyn?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you got to see the brothel tour. You got to do that. But Deadwood has an amazing chamber, and they are all about helping everybody succeed. And so, in no particular order, we have St. Patty's Day, St. Patrick's Day pub crawl. That's where 12,000 of our closest friends are in town. We have a couple different rodeos. We have the Days of 76. We have the PBR rodeo. We have Wild Bill Days. We have concerts every weekend in the summer with Deadwood Live. One of the greatest events, and it's my favorite. You might think that's weird, as much of a motorcycle guy as I am, but the rally is just, it's just work. But at the end of August, we have Cool Deadwood Nights. And Cool Deadwood Nights, I always say, will restore your faith in America, because the entire town of Deadwood, probably the newest car you will see will probably be, a 79 Camaro, but you're going to see 57 Bel Airs, and you're going to see 30s Rat Rods and 50s Ford Coupes. And I mean, just, you see all this awesome old, American iron. And everybody is so polite and so courteous. They block off Main Street, but we have big events for Mardi Gras and July 4th. And yeah, we have something going on all the time.
Sounds like we need to move to Deadwood.
It sounds like we need to. I mean, we're lucky. We get to ride year round, but it sounds like we're going to have to make a couple trips to Deadwood every year.
Yeah.
Or the house. Maybe
the house.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Can we be neighbors?
Oh yeah. Just you gotta do me a favor. You can't go Californiaing up my South Dakota.
No,
never happened.
We're not that. I grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I have a little Utahnian.
You see these flags sitting on our table right in front of us?
I do.
We're good old American boys.
Josh, maybe pull up a picture of Aaron on your phone and show him his trike.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull that up.
You would not believe this guy, Jason. His name is Aaron Baker. You can look him up. He was in a motorcycle accident when he was 20 years old, broke his neck, 4th, 5th, and 6th, quadriplegic. Sister paints his toenails different colors while in the hospital room. He's upset with that, but then mind over matter, he starts looking at his toes and bringing the sensation of walking and feeling up to his brain and pushing it back down. Now he's walked across Death Valley. Yeah, look at that trike right there.
That's cool.
He built a trike. He's got 2 sprint car left side dirt track tires on that thing. It's an old Heritage.
98 Evo.
98 Evo. And we just took him on his longest ride, 600 or 700 miles up to his hometown and back down the coast. And to watch this man ride and he had a smile at every turn, even when we were wrenching on him in the wind where he was leaned over. I mean,
he has to Velcro his throttle hand to the throttle tube because he uses his shoulder to gas it. But he'll get that thing up on 2 wheels and boom.
Wow.
And
Well, I
Amazing.
admire his determination and his fortitude. you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's walked across Death Valley. He's ridden across the USA twice on a
Bicycle.
pedal bike with his mom. Just insane.
Charlie just got to the shop. She's waving. She's saying hi.
Hey Charlie, how's it going? We'll see you soon with our wives.
Yep, she's ready for you.
Yeah, we'll be there if we can maybe grab dinner or something with you. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got it.
What was that when we ate in Deadwood? Was that a bison steak? Or what do we have?
We did have a
I think
bison
that's what
steak.
it was. That was awesome.
That was bueno.
Yes.
Well, cool. We really appreciate the time. What else do you got? Anything?
I think this was really great, and I'm glad this last minute you were able to come on the show because we learned a lot, and I'm sure our viewers were stoked to hear your story and talking about what's up.
And where do they find you, Jason? Is it deadwoodcycles.com?
It's deadwoodcustomcycles.com. Yep.
We'll put a link in our video, and you can tell everyone once this is over, it doesn't have to be live. People can go to our YouTube channel and watch it if you want them to see this Deadwood part.
Yep. And for those watching live, check the description out. We got his YouTube, his website, his Instagram, so you can get all that stuff in there.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I appreciate that. We
owe you. We owe you a big debt of gratitude and maybe something else too, because getting us all hooked up with these people, I think this is going to be. We did a Route 66, Legacy Route 66 kind of documentary, just like we're going to film this one, and it turned out well. And this one's going to turn out well as well.
Well, everything we've done is fate, and we travel America. We shake hands with America. We're trying to reintroduce people to fall in love with America again because we love her. But we have friends across the country, and now, I mean, Jason, you've been our friend, but now, like, I think we're kind of family now. So,
but it's
right.
it's through the motorcycle.
It's through traveling America on motorcycles.
And I don't like this guy, but Luke Leatherman is a jerk. No, I love him. He's our guy.
Yeah. I can't even begin to express just how thankful I am to have him in my life, And when I first started the shop, he helped me out, and I've been friends with Luke for 20 years.
Nice.
Funny story, which I won't waste your time, but funny story how we started out, because Luke was just a tech guy at Fueling at that point, 20 years ago, and we talked on the phone, a couple times, and then it just became this. And then when I wrote tech editorials for a magazine, Luke and I really started working a lot more, there. And like I said, just when I started the shop in Deadwood here, kind of relocated to Deadwood, he just, he was all on board. He was big at, just help me with whatever I needed. And, he gave us some product, on consignment so that, we could keep our cash flow because, we didn't take a big loan out or anything like that. We just kind of pay our own way. And so that guy, he's just amazing, and he's got a big heart. And the funny thing is, he's just ridiculously intelligent,
Oh, yes.
You talk to him and after 30 seconds and you just know, like, this guy's brain is over the top, he's
well, he does wear a XX helmet.
I think we've we've known him like almost 10 years.
Yeah, I love him. He's like a brother.
He's our Sturgis buddy. We ride with him. He has to be on our trips because we all go together, and we are just brothers. And
I mean, I talked to him the last couple days. It's just, we have an ongoing joke about a coin in his pocket, and we just.
Well, it's funny. When Charlie and I we went to California, my son, who's he's in the Marine Corps now. He's a captain, flies helicopters.
Wow.
Awesome.
We went out to get him, on a plane to go overseas, and so we're in Southern California, and Charlie and I are, we're in a rental car, and I said, if we do one thing, I want to go to Fueling, headquarters. I want to go see the boys over there. And, the GPS or the phone, is telling us we're going to be there in 20 minutes. And I call Luke, and he's like, where are you at? I was like, well, wherever we were. I said, it's GPS, we're going to be there about 20 minutes. He said, yeah, it's going to be about 2.5 hours. I'm like, no, it's like that far. And he's like, no, it's California, man. And I think it took us 4 hours actually.
Oh, geez.
You must have been up at LAX working your way back down.
Yeah. It was rough. The traffic out there, but still beautiful. And I am going to make it a point, every time I sell a bike that is technically mine and Charlie's, I say, I'm going to take you on a vacation. We sold that bike, I'm going to take you on a vacation. And usually work gets in the way, but after selling this SRT Road Glide, I said, I'm taking you on a vacation. And I mentioned last night about going up US 1, going up to California and riding up US 1. And I'll be picking your guys' brain, for some advice and places to stop and, where to start, north, south, how do you do it? So
we got it.
Yeah. And we'd probably have you start and come south because you're on the right side of the road at that point.
Yeah, looking over the cliffs at the ocean. It'll blow your mind how gnarly it is up there. But
we're not going to tell you anything because we're going to talk about it at dinner. So we're going to have to hold you to dinner.
Oh, well, that's a deal. You got it. Like I said, and you guys, I know you already know this, but look, if you need anything leading up to your trip up here to Deadwood, you got my number, reach out to me, whatever you need, doesn't matter. We'll help you out. However, and if I can't find the answer, I probably know the person that does have the answer, so.
Right. And all you viewers out there, any of you guys that are traveling to go to the Sturgis Rally, go to Deadwood, and you got to go see Deadwood Custom Cycles because it's really actually a cool thing to see.
Even if you buy a shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a couple of shots of Jack. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a great spot. You set up a great, and I didn't realize before we let you go. So on your Instagram, I posted on the story today, the Deadwood Cycles, that piece, but how long have you been open in Deadwood?
I started, so my shop was on the East Coast for
a
long time. And then I was actually in a really bad motorcycle wreck and it was a life-changing thing. And I moved out here because I'd always loved it out here. I moved out originally. I partnered up with a guy who was in Spearfish and we merged our shops and partnered up and it went really well, but I just wanted to be in Deadwood and I wanted to be back out on my own. And so I opened the shop in January of 18. We moved into the building and we got settled and we turned the open sign on May 1st of 18. And it's just been, for lack of a better term, balls to the wall ever since, so, we're very blessed. We're very fortunate and, I'm grateful for, all the customers that trust us to, make their bikes go faster and handle better and perform. And, we're just going to keep on cranking them out. We're just going to keep on getting after it.
Well, thank you and your son for your service. And like I say, the more we know you, I mean, it's good stuff.
Well, before we hop off too, I had one question from, who was it? Bagger Bro 66. Hey, Jason, coming for rally, your opinion on the best steak in Deadwood? Because a man's got to eat.
Well, that's easy. Okay. Because we have a lot of good steakhouses. We do. You usually can't go wrong. But if you want the best cut of steak in Deadwood, you go to the Deadwood Social Club that's above the saloon number 10. Because, there's all different grades of meat. And they pick the top one. I think it's called Choice above Prime or whatever it is. And they and I got to be honest, I was a little skeptical at first. I was like, yeah, I've had a good steak. Well, for our anniversary, Charlie and I went to the social club and had fillets, and it was, I dare say, the best steak I've ever had in my entire life.
Wow.
So, where did you get us reservations, Jason?
Oh, you're at the Deadwood Social Club.
Oh yeah.
We can attest to that steak. Really good. And I think you got the ribeye and then I got a bison and we
or
swapped.
vice versa or something and switched them.
Oh my God. Just
bomb.
Wonderful.
Table for 10. We had Luke, the Thrashing Boys, all of us.
Table for 10.
But I do know that for that viewer as well, get there a little bit early because you're going to have to wait a little bit because that place gets packed and full, but it's well worth the wait.
Right.
Well, I will tell you, I'll give a shameless plug, to if there's any bourbon drinkers out there. Charlie and I went down to Maker's Mark with a couple other with a couple friends and a couple people that know a lot more about bourbon and whiskey than I do. But the Saloon Number 10 crafted its own single barrel of Maker's Mark.
Ooh.
And we had an unveiling, and there's about 242 bottles. And I got to tell you, we've had some tastings and stuff. I've helped Charlie out with those, and everybody raves about how phenomenal a bourbon it is. And so if you're in town, you just ask for that, that Saloon 10 select Maker's Mark, and I don't think it's going to disappoint.
Well,
do a shot.
we have a bottle of Maker's Mark over in the corner, but we want to try that Saloon 10.
The real deal.
Yeah. Well, you'll be trying it on the 22nd.
There you go.
Well, you're awesome, Jason. We really appreciate you. Thanks for jumping in today, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah, and if you, like I said, you guys need anything, don't hesitate to call me. All right, I really appreciate you having me on your show. I'm honored. It's an honor.
Well, we're honored to have you. So thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.
All right, guys.
Cheers.
Take care. All right, back to you boys. Just the two.
That's awesome. What just great people.
Yeah, really great.
And it's every person we've talked to that's in Deadwood is just like him.
Yeah, exactly. It's
they're just so kind, and it's funny though. He says, "Don't bring the California to him."
Right. We won't.
We don't even take it here.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we actually don't even take it here, and we're here.
So, any comments, questions? Should we?
I think I answered most of them. Most people are asking, "Hey, see you in Sturgis? Will you go to this rally, that rally?" Asking about our next trip, which is the trip to Deadwood, which I'm stoked for, and even more stoked for after talking about the steaks and the drinks and the bikes and the riding and all that stuff. So unless anyone has some last minute questions that they can type in 3 seconds, I think we might be
I would
getting
just
there.
say
we're really looking forward to doing this trip and showing you guys what Sturgis and what Deadwood is like when there's no rally, but they're busy with other stuff.
It sounds like they're busy. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. We're gonna kind of not nuts to butts because we just did that, but we're gonna haul a little bit of butt and try to get there. We'll go to St. George, I think, on Friday night. Get up bright and early, head up to Denver, Colorado on Saturday. We'll pick up the wives. They're gonna fly into Denver. Just because we're twisting the throttle and trying to get out.
Right.
Then we'll spend the night there and then jump up into, it's like 300-mile ride up into Deadwood.
And they need to see that.
And they'll see like Lusk and all those places we go through.
Yeah.
And what I'm actually pretty stoked for is like when we're going through the Black Hills into town on our way in, not only are we with a group of 10 guys and it's kind of hard to, pull over, but there's going to be no one around. So we can get aerial shots. We can take our time and really capture it instead of just with a phone or a GoPro. And it'll be a good time.
Just a little creek that runs along the side of the road as you get into there. And it'll be different because maybe some of the colors won't be there, but it'll be interesting to see.
The cool thing for me is we're going to be able to show these people what it's like to go to Mount Rushmore when there's not thousands of motorcycles.
Yeah. So we'll pick up the ladies, head up. So Sunday we'll get into town. Monday we'll do a little filming with there's Carolyn that's going to run us through 5 or 6 different properties that are of historic value to Deadwood. One being the brothel, most likely. Then we're going to doing some interviews on Tuesday, and then Wednesday we have the day to ourselves pretty much. And I think we'll get into Custer. We get up to, is it 16 or whatever?
Yeah, I would like to do the 16A with no one around.
Yeah.
And then after we do this great thing that we're going to share with you guys and get you this, it's going to be several episodes leading into Sturgis, but we have to leave there and go to Kingman because Jim Hinckley, who wrote this book and sent it, and he helped us out in our tour. Again, another person helping us out on our tour of Route 66. We're going to go. He has a statue being unveiled.
Yep, Friday night.
So Jim Hinckley, that's awesome. Get this book.
Yo.
Here we are on Route 66, A Journey Down America's Main Street by Jim Hinckley.
And we have, I think it's a day to make it 1,143 miles from Deadwood to Kingman.
That's right.
We might split it up. We might not. We
We'll
might
see.
do our own unofficial iron butt.
Yeah, we'll see how we feel. We
Yeah.
got to drop the ladies off because they're going to fly out of Rapid City. So we'll drop them off at about 8. And the way you ride, it's probably going to take
We'll make it
us-
43 miles and just have
but
1,100 the
at
next day.
95 miles an hour. It's like 12 hours.
We can do it.
So
And then after
not
we
bad.
do the Jim Hinckley thing, we're going to be filming with Rockford Fosgate. I mean, we love their music. We love their system. So we're going to be hanging out with them before we boogie home.
and I had it blaring yesterday and the day before. I don't even go all the way to the top.
You can't.
I'm on the freeway and I'm not going all the way to the top.
Yeah. So
Well, it's when
so-
Lance told me to take a video one day just with the phone, and I was still in here, a couple walls away. He starts jamming it out, and I felt like I was like waking up on a couch in a garage of a frat party hungover. It was so loud. I'm like, fucking
and we just have amp,
And 2
the
speakers
stock stereo, and 2 speakers,
Yeah.
and we're blowing out the.
blasting.
I mean, I've had Laura say, "Hey, can you turn it down?"
Yeah.
That what?
Well, I have a little bit of hearing problems because
what?
what
What?
tinnitus I get, and so I'm like, am I going to hear this? I don't have to go all the way.
Right.
I can hear it.
So real quick, I guess 3 questions. First is Mark Lawless. What is the date for Kingman? That's the 27th,
So
29th?
it's a Saturday or
No, that's Friday.
Friday night at the end of the month. So the
So 27th.
26th.
Yeah, I think it's a Friday.
Yeah.
So last week of May on Friday. Next question, is Lance back on the rig yet?
Yes, I am.
Yes,
I'm
he
riding
is.
The rig.
Is that on May? That map?
It's 27th
calendar?
is a Friday,
It is on May.
Yeah, 27th.
May 27th.
Yes, May 27th in Kingman.
Yes,
Lance-
I'm riding full speed. I love it. It was great to get back on my bike. I'm digging it. I'm walking around the office. I mean, I'll deal with a little swelling and weird stuff probably for the next few months, but I'm basically cleared to go.
Boom. And then will you guys be having a meet and greet in Sturgis?
The real rally.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, if we run out of money, then one of the final days we can do a meet and greet at a bar, and we might be able to get a couple shots out
We'll
of it.
probably
Wow.
be at
That's a
Clockworks
really good idea.
at the
Harley Davidson, Black Hills Harley Davidson. We'll
Yep.
probably be there on a Saturday or Sunday. Probably do fueling again
Yep.
or not fueling, Legend again as well.
so we got to hang out with our buddy Brian, just a couple hours and hang out. So
We
And
don't
then-
gotta hang out, but we want to hang out.
right.
But
Michael-
just stay tuned because last year we kind of announced like 2 weeks before and then up to the rally and then at the rally
Right.
where we'd be and what time.
And then Michael was asking, are we Rockford dealers? Not currently, but do we have a code?
We
Where is
can
that?
get a code.
So hit us up. You know where to find us.
Oh,
And,
Mike McLemore.
Michael McLemore.
He
Yes,
was
sir.
through here some time ago.
He was on a gnarly trip, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, cool stuff. I think that's it for us.
All right. Well, speaking of him coming through on a cool trip, we had a group from Germany come in today. They brought us donuts.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm going to have one.
Yesterday,
France.
Arnaud brought his mom and dad that are from France. We had another guy right up from San Diego.
Yep.
I mean, if you're around Southern California, specifically Chatsworth, Canoga Park, and we're not traveling, come say hello.
I mean, we get visitors all the time. We actually kind of dig it because it's worldwide.
Yeah.
And they come over and hang out.
It's pretty crazy.
And
yeah.
we get donuts and liquor. So
Yeah.
Donuts and liquor. I'll never forget though that venison salami.
oof.
I mean, we ate that in one day.
Yeah.
From
So,
Wisconsin Backroad Bikers.
Yep.
what a great show. Thank you again, Jason.
Yeah. So subscribe, ring the bell,
Do all that stuff.
do all that.
Yada,
Or
yada.
What do you don't want them to subscribe, right?
Yeah, don't subscribe. You're fired.
It's not fun.
We're closing down the channel. We're
We're
over.
boring.
So, hey,
Yeah, buddy.
all right.
And then I guess we're out. Don't subscribe. Later.
See you down the road.